Texas Tech loses 38-30 to number 13 Oregon after several questionable decisions from the Texas Tech coaching staff and, well, Tyler Shough as QB1. Hey, how's it going, everybody? I am RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video and hit that subscribe button. You hear this voice? I was at the Jones last night. I was just like you guys, right? I'm going out of, 1 to 10. I asked the fiance, how good does the voice sound? She said a 4. And honestly, I think that might be kind of high, but I had to get my thoughts out and let you guys interact with the video. So again, like the video and hey, we're going to make it through this, not only with the stuff going on the field, but with the voice right now as well. So one more time, be sure to hit that subscribe button to stay in the know on Texas Tech football all year long. All right, let's jump into this as the Red Raiders fall to 0-2 on the season, the exact opposite of what a lot of people thought could happen for Texas Tech. And before we get really into the nitty-gritty of this breakdown, give me your one-word reaction to Texas Tech and Joey McGuire falling to 0-2 but losing to number 13 Oregon in a game where, in situation where I thought Texas Tech was the better team for a majority of the night. Instead, you fall to 0-2, but let me know your one-word reaction to Oregon beating Texas Tech at the home opener at Jones AT&T Stadium. All right, I'm going to jump into some of my thoughts. And again, I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with them. I really don't care. This is what I saw when I was at the Jones last night. First and foremost, why the hell did they go for 2 that early? There's no reason for it. There's no one at all. Good for Oregon. They got their 2 points or whatever. It doesn't matter. But if you're Texas Tech, why the hell did you go for it that early? It does not mean just because they did it, you have to do it. It made no sense, and it kind of puts you behind the 8 ball. Now, granted, you went out in the lead, but you got to think about something. You were up 9 at one point, right? It would have been 10, and I know it's not a drastic difference, 1 point from 9 to 10. Oh, but it is, okay, because it wouldn't have came back to bite you in the ass like it did. Anyway, next up. The 4th and 2 on your own 33. Listen, I'm all for gambling, man. Trust me, I'm all about it. But there's a time and a place, and you got to think about the situation. And again, apologies for the voice, but I'm trying to get y'all the content out there that a lot of people have been messaging me about. Listen, this is the situation you're in. It's 4th and 2 on your own 33. Oregon has just gone down and scored a touchdown to bring it within 2. Why the hell do you go for it there? It makes no sense. You have the best punter in America, and he proved that earlier with an absolute dot. He basically should have just gone down and placed it on the Oregon 5-yard line. That's how great of a punt it was. But instead, you risk Oregon getting all the momentum, which they did. And it's mind-boggling to me. Why didn't you make Bo Nix and Oregon go the length of the field? They had no running game. You knew what they were doing. They were predictable. You think Texas Tech didn't have a running game. Neither did Oregon. I mean, nobody had a run game last night. You stopped if you were Texas Tech in the defense. And by the way, shout out to Tim DeRuyter in that defense. I thought they played phenomenal. The offense put them in some awful spots last night. And, well, so did Joey McGuire with some of the bad decisions he had. But listen to this, okay? Bucky Irving, who I think is probably one of the 15 best running backs in America, that's saying something, right? You held him to 3.5 yards a carry. You were electric when it came to stopping the run. Bo Nix, much like Tyler Shough, was the leading rusher for the Oregon Ducks. You were great, I thought, in terms of stopping the run. I just don't understand for the life of me why you go for it right there. It made no sense. I know they have this algorithm or whatever they call it again. I don't know the proper term. But it makes no sense. They were already getting a little bit of the momentum. You were only up 27-25 at that point. Why give them a short field when you have the best punter in America? Make them go the length of the field because, again, you know they couldn't run the football. It just made no sense to me. Absolutely none. But there is one thing that makes a lot of sense to me. You can get 15% off over at homefieldapparel.com when you use the promo code BACK212. Head on over to homefieldapparel.com and get your new favorite Texas Tech shirt today and save 15% when you use the code BACK212. All right, again, a couple other things that really stood out to me in this. Tahj Brooks only got 10 touches. 10. What the hell are we doing? What are we doing here? Like, I'm all for QB run, but 23? Tyler Shough had 23 carries. Why? Tahj Brooks had 6 carries. Take the 35-yarder out of it. I don't even care, right? 31. He was 5 for 31 after that. He was averaging 6 yards a carry. What are you doing, Zach Kittley? You have to get him more involved. The interior of the offensive line, I thought played great. Even Caleb Rogers, I will say Monroe Mills on the left side, not your best night, bud, but that's okay. I thought the rest of the line played really well. But you cannot get arguably your second best playmaker only 10 touches. You can't do it, right? You have to keep Oregon honest, and they simply didn't with the running backs. They simply did not do it. I mean, we did not see any running backs out there, it felt like, for a majority of the night in terms of them having an impact, right? It was ridiculous. 23 carries for Tyler Shough. Get the ball in Tahj Brooks' hands. It made no sense to me. I mean, absolutely zero for him to only have 10 touches in a game where you could have controlled the narrative a lot better in terms of the tempo and everything. You were running fine. Use your second best playmaker. Use him. Oh, you can tell what I was yelling at last night. Turnovers. I mean, honestly, it was remarkable that Texas Tech was in the game, really for a majority of it, down in the turnover margin by 2, right? Obviously, that pick 6 by Tyler Shough, and I'll go on a tangent here in a second about that because, oh my God, on that throw and that decision, just Jesus. Anyway, it was remarkable you were in there. I thought you did a phenomenal job of stopping one of the best offenses in the country in Oregon, right? For a lot of the game. Tim Reuter's defense was great. And again, as I mentioned previously, well, hey, the offense didn't do him any favors in terms of field position sometimes. But again, you had 2, they had 0. In total, you had 4. One was that pick 6 late in the game, and the other one was the Hail Mary. So really, there was only 3 in my opinion, because the Hail Mary, that was that, right? But that decision by Tyler Shough on the Oregon pick 6, listen, people are attacking me on Twitter a little bit. There's some people that agree with me, some that don't. That is one of, if not the most egregious decision I have ever seen a senior quarterback make. Listen, I get it. I've watched the play over 5, 6, maybe even 7 times at this point. Miles Price was open. I get he's trying to get him the football. You know who else is in that play? 2 Oregon defenders in his face. Live to see another day. Take the sack. You're down 1. It's okay. Take the sack. Live to see another day. And don't make it where you have to go down and get 8 points, by the way. That 2-point conversion, that's really where it would have bit you in the ass even more if you did go get the 6. Bunch of ifs there. The one if that we know what would have happened in terms of if Tyler Shough would have taken that sack, it's Texas Tech would have gotten another play. And who knows what happens from there, because, again, you only need 3 points. It was just mind-boggling, that decision by Tyler Shough in that moment. Again, that late drive, you're down 31-30, you only need 3, right? And you make that decision as a senior quarterback, it's inexcusable. And I think a topic this week, and maybe I'm overreacting, I'll ask Lyle tomorrow. Let me know y'all's thoughts. This will be the closing point here. I think it's very much a worthy conversation now, Baron Morton, Tyler Shough. I think it's a very worthy conversation. And the crazy part is this: if he beat Oregon and he doesn't make that decision right there, and some of the other decisions that he made in this game, I'm probably not saying it because, again, they would have won. But he made that decision, and it was just downright mind-boggling considering he's a senior quarterback. I was perplexed, mind blown. I mean, lost for words, and that's saying something because y'all hear my voice. I was using it last night. I'll tell you that. One more time, give me your one-word reaction to Texas Tech losing to number 13 Oregon at home. Give me your one-word reaction down in the comments below. And man, 0-2, this is exactly where everybody thought Texas Tech really truly wouldn't be at this time. But now it looks like if you beat Tarleton next week, you'll be 1-2 headed into the Big 12, and you still have Big 12 title hopes ahead of you. But you got a lot of explaining to do in terms of some of the decision-making on the field and off of it if you're the Red Raiders. All right, one more time, be sure to like the video. I'm sorry for the voice. Make fun of me in the comments. I know it cracked like 74 times. It's whatever. I had to get my thoughts out because a lot of y'all had been asking, and, well, here they are. And if you haven't already, be sure to like the video and hit that subscribe button to stay in the know on Texas Tech football all year long right here on the Back to 12 podcast channel.